Today I'm going over best setups for the Samurai. Now there's a couple of different ways that you can play him. I have the legendary for the wind stance. Would prefer a nice legendary or decent legendary perk and having the moon stance, but don't have that one, so I'm running this. I think the moon stance would be a little nice to deal with the heavy shielded dudes, and I think if anything, that would be pretty good. But the wind stance is pretty good for the shields too. Anyway, let's get into some of the best perks. So, best perks: melee damage, ability cooldown. I think you should get a longbow. This cost me a lot to do to get the range damage, headshot, and the versatile because the third list is very long. So to get decent numbers on uh one or one and the versatile, um, I actually got these two right off the bat on this roll, and then I switched to the versatile. That was pretty sweet. Although that took me like 50 plus rolls between these two to get it. This was I didn't want to mess with this one because this was okay. Just wanted to improve it. But anyway, I do think you should have the longbow with versatile. Well, you're gonna need versatile to use it. But yeah, the longbow over the half bow. So when you do want to pull out your bow, you're actually doing pretty good damage. He's a frontline character, but if you do need to shoot a couple dudes in the head, it's nice to do damage. This charm I just started testing out. I like it though. I mean, it's legendary, but we'll just disregard the deal 15% bonus damage with full health. Once again, for the charm, I'm having melee damage and ultimate damage. I'll show you some of the other good perks. So, melee resolve gain is good. Melee stagger damage isn't bad. This is going to be personal preference of what of your style of gameplay and what you think you could use most. Most of these are pretty good. I kind of like the ability cooldown reduction too a lot. If you're going to be running a fire class, like once you have a fire setup, I wouldn't put Fire Master on. So you actually have like a Way of the Flame and another one that lights targets on fire. You got something like that. Then Fire Master can be pretty beast, especially when you're already running extra damage. So to keep a note on, just real quickly, on your ghost weapons, your cooldown reduction doesn't really affect your ability. I timed it, what did they say? The ability is 36 seconds. So it was 26 seconds when I timed it with 2 cooldown reductions. That was like 20%, so that would have been 7 seconds off, 29. Yeah, plus the 2s. Might have been a second off on the timer too. I'm like 99% sure that this cooldown reduction doesn't affect your ability. It only affects your ghost weapons. I gotta do further testing on that, but whether it affects it or not, the cooldown reduction on your abilities, your ghost weapons, is really useful. The sticky bomb and the smoke bomb are what I do recommend. You don't need a heal. Your ability is the heal. So having a cooldown reduction in either your weapon or your charm, I would have it at least one in the 4 slots would be a cooldown reduction. Personally, I think 2 melee damages, a ability cooldown, and then a 4th one of your choice. Personally, I like ultimate damage, especially now that I'm running 2 legends. But I would say the 4th one is more up to you. Um, back on to the ghost weapons. I do like the black powder. Just to note real quickly, munitions, uh, since you're only using your bow a little bit, it's not that useful. Sudden resolve only grants you back the first resolve, so it's not that useful. If you already got one resolve, it doesn't give you anything. Knocking them back is really nice because it doesn't knock back the big dudes. So if you use it next to a big dude and there's a couple little dudes, it knocks back the little dudes, and then you can just go in on the big dude. And it's very easy to follow up with crits in the little dudes, so I do really like the black powder on there. If I wasn't running a fire setup at the moment before I was doing this, the extended blast radius is really nice. Definitely would recommend blast radius and cooldown reduction once again. You could alternatively go for damage increase on it, but personally I like the cooldown reduction. Having it more often I think is much more beneficial than doing a little bit extra damage. All your damage for the most part is coming off after you throw the sticky bomb, so you don't need extra damage on the sticky bomb, you just need it to stun, and fire damage is doing more damage than a little bit extra damage on the blast. I would definitely put the fire up. Trying to think about if there's anything else to mention on it. I mean, those are pretty much the best perks. Your charms, you got different charms. You do have the samurai charm too, which is another one to look out for, which is pretty good. If you're not, when you're gonna use what you're gonna use is either a melee charm, the samurai charm, or potentially a legendary charm of your choosing. This is the first one that I got that fit the samurai. I've just been messing around with this the last 10 games or so. And I've been doing a lot of damage. I just took off my 5 strike and put back on the 3 strike to run 2 legends again. And I'm not really seeing a need for the 5 strike. My 3 strike does so much damage provided I'm at full health. Even when I'm not, it does a whole lot of damage. I got the extra ultimate damage and everything. Why I also do like the ultimate damage. When you do need to use it, whether you are running 1 legend or you're running 2, ultimate damage is really nice to clear out. Like, I could take out 2 of the big Onis with the staffs. Just do 1 crit on one, 2 strikes on the full health one, then 1 strike on the other one, and they're done. But yeah, that is all the best perks and the weapons that I think you should be using. Charms, everything. Just to note again, I think the moon is the best weapon for the samurai if you have to pick one stance. And the wind stance would be a close second to it. If you have any questions, not think I noted everything that I think. If you have another build that you think is really cool too, just post it and share with everyone. And if you have any questions, just ask. I hope that helps.